So yesterday I went through 5 of the 10 items in a conservative manifesto. And I pointed out, I'm sure there are others, but these are the ones that I think are the priorities. And I'm not going to go through the first 5 again. But I'm going to pick up at number 6. Immigration. Eliminate chain migration, which grants control over immigration policy to aliens and foreign governments, and which the statist defends to expand his electoral and administrative state constituency. Secure the nation's borders and discourage those who violate them, illegal alien and citizen lawbreaker alike, by enforcing the immigration laws. End multiculturalism, diversity, and bilingualism in public institutions, which beget poverty, animosity, and ethnic balkanization. Promote assimilation and unity of citizenship, allegiance to the American culture, and English as the official national language. This isn't going to happen overnight, folks, but we have to have broad, deep, incredible goals, too. Persistence. A little at a time, folks. We can get there. Number 7, entitlements. Social Security is going bankrupt. Medicare is going bankrupt. Medicaid is going bankrupt. These programs and others have accumulated more than $50 trillion in IOUs due and payable by subsequent generations. Educate the young people about the intergenerational trap the status has laid for them, which will steal their liberty, labor, opportunities, and wealth, and build a future electoral force for whom the elixir of entitlements is understood as poisonous snake oil. These programs were created in politics and will have to be addressed in politics. Only in this way can they be contained, limited, and reformed. Fight all efforts to nationalize the healthcare system. National healthcare is the mother of all entitlement programs, for through it the status controls not only the material wealth of the individual, but his physical well-being. Remind the people that politicians and bureaucrats, about whom they are already cynical, will ultimately have the final say over their choice of doctors, hospitals, and treatments, meaning the system will be politicized and bureaucratized. Remind them that this human experiment has been tried and has failed in places like Britain and Canada, where patients have been subjected to arbitrary treatment decisions, long waiting periods for life-saving surgeries, antiquated medical technologies, the denial of high-cost pharmaceuticals available elsewhere, and the inefficient rationing of health care generally. And remind them that despite past utopian promises, the statist never delivers. Number 8, foreign policy. Ensure that all foreign policy decisions are made for the purpose of preserving and improving American society. Reject all treaties, entanglements, institutions, and enterprises that have as their purpose the supplantation of America's best interests, including its physical, cultural, economic, and military sovereignty, to an amorphous global interest. Like what I was just talking about prior to going through these. Ensure that America remains the world's superpower. Ensure that at all times America's military forces are prepared for war, to dissuade attacks, encourage peace, and if necessary, win any war. Number 9, faith. Oppose all efforts to denude the nation of its founding justification. That is, God-given unalienable natural rights that the government can neither confer on the individual nor deny to him. The statist seeks the authority to do both, which explains his contempt for or misuse of faith. Moreover, faith provides the moral order that ties one generation to the next, and without which the civil society simply cannot survive. Number 10, the Constitution. Demand that all public servants, elected or appointed, at all times uphold the Constitution and justify their public acts under the Constitution. Oppose all efforts to constitutionalize the statist's agenda. Eliminate limits on and rationing of political free speech through unconstitutional so-called campaign finance laws, which benefit incumbent politicians, the media, unions, and other state-related groups. Any American citizen or group of American citizens should be absolutely free to contribute to candidates as they wish, as long as the source, amount, and recipient of the contributions are known. Yeah, we don't want foreign money in. Defeat all efforts to unconstitutionally regulate the content of political speech on broadcast outlets such as radio. The statist now seeks to consolidate the power he has accumulated by silencing non-compliant voices through a variety of schemes that would regulate broadcast content. And then I end with this. This is a quote that you've heard from Ronald Reagan himself as I've played the audio because it's one of my favorite. And it's one that should ring the bell of alarm. Reagan said, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States, where men were free." That quote should be repeated to every Republican and pseudo-conservative who tells us all is well. Just negotiate, just surrender, just accept the inevitable. We can't do that. We won't do that. We shouldn't do it. Why would we give up the greatest nation on the face of the earth to a relative handful of statists who have manipulated enough people in this country to win office and now manipulate them by testing out words, by funding brown shirts, by using the media that wants to be used to advance a cause that is foreign to us? Why would we roll over for that? Well, we won't. As long as I'm behind this microphone, I will talk to these things as I have for the last 6 years. I will talk to these things. I will write about these things. I will argue over these things. And I think many of you will too. Because there is no alternative. We have no choice. There's nowhere else to go. Some of you are in your cars with your children or your grandchildren. I want you to look at them. Some of you are at your dinner table with your children or grandchildren. I want you to look at them. They're defenseless without you. And yet they are the primary target of Obama and Pelosi and Reid and the other statists. I want you to look at them and think of them 15 years hence, when they're working. Some of them are old enough to get married. 20 years hence, when they have a child of their own. And yet they're having to pay for $60, $70, $80 trillion in entitlement debt and on-budget debt that they didn't support, that they didn't vote for, and that has been left to them by our generation and other generations long gone. Obama will have been long gone from the presidency, and they will still be paying for the rest of their lives for what he is trying to do today.